if you haven't noticed, I kind of just do live streams, but I don't live stream. I like look I just like look shit up. No, why is this? It's supposed to be a rapper. Once again, Stickman could not unfortunately make it. His back was not feeling good whatsoever. Man could not walk. He had old man syndrome, if you will, unfortunately. Wait, what the? It said turn. This man turned pro. Wait, he was a pro skater? You're shitting me, bro. No fucking way, bro. What a dog. He's a pro skater. What a fucking guy. This man. Oh my god. He's so talented. Okay, this is one of the worst, most talented people ever. But what a guy. Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so Stigma couldn't make it because his back hurt. So I'm just gonna run through the games again, give some takeaways and whatnot. Let's start with the Thursday night game. We have Packers versus the Cardinals. On the Packers side, fuck Devontae Adams, unfortunately. I still got the W because I'm so good, but like he kind of fucked over people. Randall Cobb scores twice on 3 catches for 15 yards. He can go suck a dick too. That's pretty unfortunate. Aaron Jones is quietly I think the RB2 overall, and will get higher as Derrick Henry does not put up points, unfortunately. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, Rodgers. I mean, he's he's not lighting the world on fire on in fantasy. I mean, in real life he's solid, but the Packers able with a narrow win. And then, of course, looking at the Cardinals side once again, it's James Conner putting up cartoonish numbers with 5 carries for 22 yards and 2 scores with a feasible fantasy day. Chase Edmonds gets back with 3 catches for 40 yards, and he also scores on the ground. Edmonds is going to be viable, but I mean, going forward, Conner is the guy that you want in his backfield because I believe he's gonna. If he doesn't lead the league, if he doesn't lead the league in touchdowns right now, he will next week probably. If he scores a couple more times, I think Derrick Henry is probably first right now, but like, still, that's gonna change. AJ Green, he has ridiculous snap shares. He's playing like all the time. He's I think wide receiver 30 something, 30, 31, 32 maybe. Just yeah. Oh fuck! I just did my nails and they're fucking tearing because I'm a dumbass. But yeah, I mean Kyler, he's as close to the QB1 as they're gonna get going forward. He doesn't have a great game here, but I mean you have duds for everybody. But yeah, let's move on to another game and another. Oh fuck, who are we gonna? Oh yes. This is not the same guy. What do you? No, let's look at the Mustaf actually. Um, this cool guy. Let's okay. We have Panthers versus Falcons. Once again, Cordero Patterson. I'm just defeated. Like I don't understand how he he catches 5 more balls for 37 yards in the score. Kyle Pitts puts up the dud. Calvin Ridley needs mental health reasons. I love mental health. Just unfortunate that he's not playing. Mike Davis proves why he is viable, especially with no Calvin Ridley, and Russell Gage just jack shit. I mean Patterson is an RB1 going forward. He has been for a second. I don't understand why or how, but he is. He's just very talented at everything. Yeah, Kyle Pitts he's gonna have his ups and downs, but if he would have put up a third straight monster game here, I would have been creaming myself and being like, this guy's the next insert good player here, but he didn't, so I don't know what to say. On the Panthers side, DJ Moore is gonna get the volume. It's just his ceiling is capped when Sam Darnold throws for 129 yards. Chuba Hubbard is once again just an incredible replacement for CMC. He gets all the work. Amir Abdullah gets some work too. But yeah, I mean Darnold just does not look good at all right now, whatsoever by any means. But Moore is still gonna get there. But I mean, outside of DJ Moore, it's nobody. I mean, the second leading receiver was indeed Amir Abdullah, who's not even a receiver. And only one other receiver caught a pass from Darnold besides DJ Moore. So I mean, keep playing Moore as a high-end wide receiver too. Fringe wide receiver 1, but like besides that, that's about all there is. Moving on, here I want to look at my email. Oh no, nothing going on there. Who am I recording? Thank God, that would suck if I wasn't recording. Oh no, I had. There we go. Oh fuck! Oh, I'm here. I'm gonna do a game. I'm gonna look at the team and I'm gonna name a rapper from the city that the team is in. So we have next game is Bills. Oh, Buffalo. That is so easy. Let's look up the man himself. Fuck. West Side Gun. West Side. I cannot spell, yo. West Side Gun rapper. He's a rapper. But I mean, looking at the side of the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen puts up another solid game. He had an incredibly robust projection rather. He didn't quite get there, but I mean, he gets there on the ground with 55 yards in the score. Obviously, gets there through the air pretty efficiently as well. Cole Beasley puts up the monster game, 10 catches for 110. Diggs hasn't had the season that we had hoped, but he's still a very solid buy low because the peripherals are indeed there. He puts up 5 for 40 and 1 touchdown. Gabe Davis gets there. Zach Moss with 6 big catches. Devin Singletary, not the guy. Moss is definitely the guy in this backfield. But going on to Miami, this is just a frustrating team. I mean, Devontae Parker comes back in and is the wide receiver 1. Fuck, I'm itchy. But Devontae Parker comes in and assumes the number 1 spot in the receiving room again, which is just confusing because Waddle was that guy for a while. Gesicki had a string of great games and he puts up a decent game here, but I mean nothing to write home about. Tua doesn't have a great game. Gaskin, I don't know. This team is just messy. I mean, going forward, you can probably keep playing Waddle. I would definitely keep playing Gesicki. Gaskin is worth a mention, but I mean, this team is just pretty frustrating. And it's looking like they're trying to sell at the trade deadline. Guys like Xavier Howard. So maybe this team isn't quite ready for the jump that we wanted. And after a couple weeks of Tua tearing it up and maybe getting hype, he comes back to earth. So there's that. He's not great. Okay, Niners versus Bears. So we have Chicago. We have San Fran. Chicago. I mean, this is just the guys. This is the greatest artist of all time. Look at this, greatest artist of all time right here, of any genre ever. Anyways, San Francisco. Deebo Samuel is the wide receiver 1. I don't know how, but he puts up another 171 on 6 catches. Elijah Mitchell is the guy indeed. Okay, so he had a big game. He puts up 18 for 137 and 1, but he gets vultured not once but twice by Jimmy Garoppolo, who has 5 carries for 4 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is just perplexing to me. Jermichael Hasty is the only running back to record a carry outside of Mitchell, and he puts up 3 for 4. So that's interesting. Ayuk, another dud. I mean, not a dud, but like another not great game. He's kind of washed. He's going to be getting dropped a lot. He can already be dropped. He's not that guy right now. And then, of course, how could we forget of the original wide receiver quarterback, Mohamed Sanu, 3 for 59. He's solid. Jermichael Hasty puts up 2 for 29, and gets a couple carries. He was the RB2 today, but I mean it really is just Mitchell and everyone else. Mitchell is an RB2 going forward, especially in standard. I mean you can bump him up very high there because he's not getting any work in the pass catching game. But I mean, Garoppolo once again not looking startable, and we're waiting until Trey Lance is the guy here. But Chicago, so this is why Justin Fields isn't ready yet, because he puts up 100 yards on the ground and a touchdown through the air, and he still doesn't even reach 25 points in fantasy. So that's like unfortunate. Khalil Herbert gets fed over and over and over and over and over. It's looking like he is the guy going forward, and he's gonna get fed. So he is definitely like startable. Darnell Mooney though, not the guy. Or no, he is the guy. Allen Robinson is not the guy. He's almost droppable at this point. Unfortunately, you cannot keep playing him. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, Fields and him don't work. They just don't. Darnell Mooney is looking like he's not an every week starter, but he's an every week startable player, which is rare nowadays. And I mean, Robinson just, you can drop him. That's truly unfortunate. Next game, let's go to Steelers versus the Browns. So we have Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I mean, so Hmm. It's actually this is right here. This guy's pretty cool. Um, but yeah. Oh my fucking god. Okay, so potentially fantasy's best asset, Najee Harris, puts up another monster game with almost 100 on the ground and a score and 3 catches for 29 yards. He's a stud. Big Ben, relatively efficient, just more tossing the ball around, not making any, or more being. I'm so tired. I can't even think right now. What's the word I'm looking for? Being a game manager rather than the guy that we've seen in the past. But I mean, we knew this. But once again, Deontay, he's the guy out there. Whenever Deontay plays, you play Deontay. It's just a simple rule. Pat Fryermuth, he scores. Don't play him. He's not going to be good in the NFL, for fantasy at least. Claypool, I mean, he's a boom bust pick. It's really just Najee as potentially the most valuable asset in all of fantasy, and then Deontay when he plays very, very valuable. But outside of that, nothing to do with this. Moving on to Cleveland. Nick Chubb comes back and has a modest game by Nick Chubb standards. Dearness Johnson vultures a touchdown somehow, which is very unfortunate for every Nick Chubb owner. But I mean, Chubb's gonna be fine. We know this. It's gonna be Chubb and Hunt when they get back. But I mean, as for the pass catchers, this is just an absolute mess. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people to catch a pass. So 20 total completions for Baker to nine different receivers. Nobody has more than Jarvis Landry with 5 for 65. Just a very modest output in general. No. Cleveland pass catchers have never been the move. It's going to be the running backs going forward. If Hunt is out, you could throw in Dearness Johnson as a very desperate, very, very, very desperate flex. But I'd rather not, if I'm being honest. Moving on to the next game. Who is it? Eagles, Lions. Okay, we have Philly and Detroit. Oh, Detroit. I love Detroit. Detroit is the most underrated city for hip hop ever. We have this is not a close game at all. But I mean the stars shine. We have Swift getting 12 carries for 27 yards, catching 5 passes. Hawkinson for 10 for 89. Those are the only 2 players that you want anything to do with on Detroit. Anything at all. Swift is still an RB1. Hawkinson is still a high-end tight end 1 because they're capable of this. Swift is going to have better days going forward, obviously. He usually scores, blah, blah, blah. He actually gets vultured by Jamar Jefferson, who punches it in from short distance at the goal line. But that's besides the point. Looking on to Philadelphia, everyone eats here. We have, everyone besides the quarterbacks. We have Jalen Hurts. With an efficient game, but they didn't need him much at all because Boston Scott scores twice, as does Jordan Howard. Hurts gets there on the ground with 71 yards. We have 3 different rushers on Philadelphia with 12-plus carries. That's kind of insane. Dallas Goedert has the big game. It's looking like he is the guy without Zach Ertz over anybody, including Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith has a dud, if we're being honest. 1 for 15 on I believe 3 targets. There's not a great game there, but Goddard is going to be the guy going forward. These running backs, you don't want them without Miles Sanders because, I mean, this is what happens. You get three guys with 12-plus carries. But once again, I mean, Jalen Hurts is a stud. 70 yards. He leads the team in rushing despite having the 4th most carries. That's kind of insane. That's it going forward. Now we have, who we have? Rams versus Texans, okay. So we have the Rams. LA, okay. LA and Houston, we have a bunch of big cities here. Who's next here? LA. Houston. Yeah. So my buddy Dev is from Houston, and he says this is like Houston's very own, right? Anyways, so the Rams versus Houston. Once again, the stars shine for the Rams. It's looking like it's more and more a 2-player offense. We have Cooper Kupp, just an absolute stud. Perhaps, I must admit it, perhaps the wide receiver 1 going forward overall over guys like Devontae Adams. I'm not gonna actually. I mean, you could say that he's just a stud. He's getting everything, everywhere by everybody. Stafford obviously gonna be startable every week, but Kupp has a huge game. Henderson scores twice. He's been very, very consistent. He's looking like a weekly RB1. I mean, he's kind of that guy. Woods scores on the ground, enter the air. Woods is still startable as a mid wide receiver 2, but he's just a clear tier and a half below Cooper Kupp, who is the absolute shit right now. Besides that, I mean, you don't want much. Van Jefferson looking like, I mean, he's having games here and there, but it's nothing special. I mean, Higbee, he'll have his time, but I mean, it wasn't today. He's still streamable. Sonny Michel in very, very deep leagues, if you're desperate, is getting carries every game, but that's just desperation. For Houston, obviously Brandon Cooks gets there because he's a fucking stud. Keep playing Brandon Cooks if you can, because he's gonna do this a lot. I know he's had a couple duds here and there as of late, but he's still gonna do this because they're always trailing, they're always throwing, and it's gonna be going to him. Houston has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pass catchers. Holy hell! And Cook still gets there. You know what? Any running back, they're all bad and not good and bad. Titans versus Houston. Tennessee versus where's the Titans Stadium at? Is it in Nashville? It has to be, right? I don't fucking know. Well, I'm gonna look up this anyways. But obviously, the big news here is that Derrick Henry goes down. Not good. He's gonna be out for the entirety of the fantasy season. Not good. After he gets 28 carries, it was looking like he was Superman, and he was, but this type of workload was not sustainable, unfortunately. Even for a guy like Derrick Henry, it just kind of blows, because you don't want to see anybody get hurt, right? I mean, that just fucking sucks. But I mean, who is next man up here actually? Is it gonna be Jeremy McNichols here? I'm doing some real life research here. Who do we have? Who is on the Tennessee Titans roster that is going to play running back for them and score points? Jeremy McNichols, yes. Jeremy McNichols likely to handcuff the one here, but they did work out guys like AP, so it's probably a money to backfield. But I mean, McNichols is worth a waiver claim. If you're looking for anybody to claim, he's worth a waiver claim. If you wanted anybody to claim, he's worth a waiver claim. So go ahead and do that. Actually, a very solid game here. It's the AJ Brown coming out party. He has a huge game. With no Julio, obviously. Once Julio gets back, he's still going to be startable. But I mean, AJ Brown, you got to keep playing him because he's capable of this. Wide receiver 2 going forward with upside, obviously. Indy, on the other hand, Michael Pittman, potential wide receiver 1. I'd rather have Pittman than a guy like AJ Brown going forward, because he's been a stud all year long. It's a one-man show on offense, or in the passing game at least. I mean, JT gets there obviously because he's a stud. JT, 3 catches for 52 yards. That's very encouraging. Obviously he scores on the ground because he's a fucking stud. But yeah, I mean it's pretty much. Oh shit. What the hell is that? Anyways, Pittman looking like a wide receiver 1 going forward. Fringe wide receiver 1. He's getting all kinds of volume and he's scoring. He's looking like a dominant force out there. And AJ Brown comes back to life. Keep playing him. He's gonna be fine. He's a mid wide receiver 2 with upside. But I'd rather have a guy like Pittman than AJ Brown now. I mean I'm gonna be honest. That's about it. I mean, Wentz, he throws a lot. If somebody's gonna throw a lot, they're gonna be viable. So there's that. Going on to the next game. Who is it gonna be? We have Cincinnati and New York Jets. So I mean, we have a plethora of rappers to choose from here. But I'm gonna choose this one right here. Obviously the game oh, this is kind of cool. That's cool, the album cover. But obviously the game here. Oh, this is really cool too. This is pretty art. I would buy this art. Anyways, obviously the story here is Michael Carter. Michael Carter. Okay, here I have some fucking notes on Michael Carter actually. I'm sorry, I gotta pull them up now. But yeah, Michael Carter is the top scorer overall this week. I mean, barring Monday Night Football, but yeah, he's probably gonna be the top scorer overall. He has a touchdown on the ground in 3 of 4 games and a 50+% snap share 4 games in a row. He has 2 straight weeks of a 70+% snap share, and in those 2 weeks he has 9 and 14 targets and 11 and 15 carries. He was lined up everywhere, getting run out of the slot, out wide, and wait, what do you call it? when there was two backs in the field, he was the back that was splitting out and getting all the targets. And obviously after the bye week, so like after the bye week, he's had 2 straight weeks of a 70+% snap share, and we know the narrative of rookies after the bye week. He's just gonna be a stud. He's pretty easily on RB2, probably closer to a higher RB2, given that everyone's like going down, going forward, and I'm very excited. Like we're looking at a pretty robust 15, 16 point production going forward in PPR because he's getting fed. He has 23 targets in the past 2 weeks. So yeah, that's very, very, very encouraging if you're a Michael Carter owner. But also, Ty Johnson, he puts up I believe like 20 points. He gets 5 catches. He actually scores through the air, unlike Carter. But I mean, Carter is obviously the guy, but Johnson is looking viable because instead of it being a 3-back system, it's more of a 2-1 with no Tevin Coleman nowadays. Jamison Crowder has the big game here, as does Elijah Moore. I mean, kind of like everyone does, because Mike White went crazy for 400 yards. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be Carter like going forward. I believe Corey Davis will still be relevant when he gets back. But right now, he's hurt, obviously. But I mean, everyone. Oh my God, Keelan Cole had a crazy catch that was called back. It was like an Odell-esque touchdown that he scored, but it just got called back, unfortunately. But yeah, there's that. Going on to Cincinnati, unfortunately they fall. Robert Saleh was very happy after that win, so good for him. But Mixon has the big game. He scores not only through the air, but also on the ground. 4 catches for 58 yards and a score through the air. Very encouraging for a guy like Joe Mixon. T. Higgins has the big game here. He has 4 for 97. I mean, Chase, he scores, obviously. He's a fucking stud. Chase is a top 10 receiver going forward. Higgins is going to be viable, as will Boyd, who scores once again. I mean, all these guys are viable, but there's a pretty clear pecking order to me. It's Chase, then Higgins, then Boyd. But they're all playable. Burrow is throwing a lot and throwing very well, so I keep playing him. But, yeah, that is that for you. Let's move on to the next game. We have Patriots versus the Chargers. So, the story... Oh, wait, no. Actually, wait. That is LA Chargers versus New England Patriots. New England Patriots. Who the fuck is from New England? I can't do that. I was about to do something very bad, but I can't do that right now. Chargers. LA. Where's... Never mind. Let's just... Kendrick Lemur. So, Nick Folk scores 15 points. He is the third leading scorer of this game. That's about it. This is actually a very, very, very interesting game to watch. We had Damian Harris once again score. He's viable in standard especially, but he's been a stud all year long. RB2 going forward. Ramondre Stevenson, though, once again chipping in 8 carries, catches the ball. Damian Harris is getting nothing through the passing game at all. It's kind of pathetic, but I mean, Harris is still that guy. Mac Jones doesn't look great. Spreads the ball around, proves why this team isn't to be trusted. I mean, I would keep playing Hunter Henry as a tight end, but I mean, like besides that, it's still pretty ugly. They tried to get Jacoby Myers his first touchdown. They ran him on like all the way across the field, but the Chargers picked it up. Yeah, I mean, Jacoby should be playable. So should Hunter Henry. And Damian Harris is a never starter. But, I mean, besides that, this team is just solid overall as a whole. But, I mean, there's no stars in fantasy. Moving on to the LA Chargers. Justin Jackson has like a 67 yard run that he like loses steam at the end and falls down. So he's the leading rusher. But once again, Eckler gets there with 11 for 64 and 6 catches for 60 yards through the air. Keenan Allen finally scores. Mike Williams has a dud, but I mean, Allen proves why he is that dude. Very consistent, scoring a touchdown from I believe 2 yards out. I mean, it's always been the same story for the Chargers. Just keep playing everybody and they'll be fine. But yeah, I mean that's about it. Allen, I'm happy for him because he has been due for a game like that where he outproduces Williams by a lot. So there we go. Good. Yeah, everyone's happy at that point. We have Seattle versus Jacksonville. I don't know how close Carroll City is to Jacksonville, but I'm gonna look up Denzel Curry because I like him. So Jacksonville, James Robinson goes down. It's probably Carlos Hyde's season, unfortunately. Hyde had 6 catches for 40 yards. He's worthy of a waiver claim, which is just unfortunate because why? It's the year 2021, and Carlos Hyde is relevant. But, I mean, yeah. This team looked awful. Jacksonville looked very, 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 very awful. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players catch passes. And the top 2 receivers were Dan Arnold and Carlos Hyde. So you can't take away anything at all. I'm just going to say that this team looked awful, and Carlos Hyde is worth the waiver claim because he's a starting running back getting pass-catching work on an NFL team. Moving on to Seattle, we have big games. This is the most consolidated stat line that you'll see in a receiving game in a while. We have Tyler Lockett goes 12 for 142 and no scores, and DK Metcalf 6 for 43 and 2 scores. They both have monster games, and that's literally it. Keep playing them going forward. But I mean, until Russ is back, they're gonna be inconsistent. I mean, they both got here now, but I mean, it's looking like Russ will be back soon, so that's cool. Alex Collins has the big game, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players with carries, so that's pretty unfortunate as well. Seattle looked good. Jacksonville looked bad. It was just an ugly game overall. I don't know what to say. Moving on, we have the Broncos versus Washington. So here, I clicked out of it. Here we observe why Javonte Williams can never have his shine, because Melvin Gordon scores twice, Javonte Williams scores 0 times. They put up similar lines otherwise besides the touchdowns, but Gordon just gets there. It's a true timeshare 50-50, and nobody's really going to excel. I mean, they're both going to be playable, but nobody's going to really excel because Gordon is still a solid running back. Here we see Jerry Jeudy coming back. Tim Patrick has a solid game. Cortland Sutton, kind of a dud, but it's good that Judy's back. He actually got a carry too, so good for him. But it's looking like all 3 of these guys, Sutton, Judy, and Patrick, will all be playable on certain weeks going forward. But I'd expect inconsistency. You know what I'm saying? Because we kind of have Teddy Two Gloves throwing the ball. So Teddy Two Gloves. What a guy he is. And then of course, as we all expected, on the Washington side, we had Antonio Gibson getting 8 carries. He didn't even lead the team in carries. That's rather unfortunate. Gibson 3 catches for 20 yards. He's always been in trouble, but we knew that. Terry McLaurin, he kind of has a dud. He's had a couple of duds lately. I still think he's a high wide receiver 2, low wide receiver 1, because he's getting the volume, and they're he got a carry. They're trying to get him the ball in more ways than one. It's just not working out right now. It's kind of unfortunate. Taylor Heineke kind of has a rough game here, but everyone did. J.D. McKissick proves why he's going to be relevant forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. He has 8 for 83 through the air. Just a monster game in PPR. He's playable. Gibson's in trouble, but a guy like J.D. McKissick is always going to be playable. Outside of Scary Terry, McKissick, and Gibson, there's nothing to talk about. Heineke proves why he's streamable, because he's capable of throwing 40 times in a game, almost 300 yards. It's just he's mistake-proof and he's not great. So he's streamable, but nothing more. Ricky Seals-Jones kind of has a dud, which is unfortunate because he had been playing like a stud without Logan Thomas. If Thomas is back, I'd play him. If Thomas isn't back, I would keep playing Ricky Seals-Jones because he's been solid. But he just puts up a dud here. Nothing else to say. On to the Bucks versus the Saints, which is kind of a weird game because Jameis goes down, right? So we have Trevor Siemian comes in, throws almost 30 passes for 160 yards and 1 score. Jameis also 56 yards in the score. Kamara has the big game on the ground, 61 yards in the score. Mark Ingram comes back in his debut, 27 yards on the ground. It's more of the same story, and what seems to be a theme, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pass catchers catching a pass for the Saints. Nobody with more than 3 catches. Just spreading the ball around. There's really nothing on the Saints team from a pass catching perspective that you want. I mean, Kamara's going to get there because he's a stud. He's going to get there on the ground or in the air. He's still an RB1. But, I mean, besides that, Ingram, don't buy into it. He's just going to do this every once in a while, a couple yards here and there. But, yeah, I mean, moving on to Tampa Bay, Tom Brady has a fucking huge game. 4 touchdowns, almost 10 yards per attempt. Total stud. Godwin has the big game here. He's always capable of this. AB actually sits out. Very unfortunate. But, I mean, Godwin comes in with a huge game. Evans has a solid game himself with 48 yards in the score. But, yeah, I mean, the story has always been it's going to be the big three. It's going to be Godwin, AB, and Evans. And that's about it. I mean, Tyler Johnson, my guy, comes in 5 for 65. I don't think he's going to be viable without AB going forward. But, I mean, it's good to note because he's very talented. Leonard Fournette, a weekly starter. He kind of has a dud here, but he leads the team in carries by a lot. He gets 3 catches. You can't ask for much more. Yeah, I mean, he's a weekly starter going forward, and much never to say it. So there you go. Moving on to the Cowboys versus the Vikings. This was a display of true talent at the receiver position on Dallas. So Cooper Rush comes in. He plays a decent game, but, I mean, it was really just CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper getting open all night and making plays. Amari Cooper actually hurt his hamstring and then came back in and caught a touchdown to close the game. He's a fucking stud. I mean, CD was just a problem throughout the entire game. Pretty consistent. 6 for 112. Cooper has 8 for 121 and a score. They're studs every week. It's looking like Gallup is going to be back, so he'll probably be slotted into this role again. But Cedric Wilson has quietly been a pretty solid play without Michael Gallup. And he has a cannon. This man threw it on a rope on the run, 35 yards on the field. It was great. But yeah, there you go. I mean, Zeke doesn't have a great game here. Only 50 yards, no scores, and then 4 for 23 on the ground. Tony Pollard looked like a beast, breaking tackles everywhere once again. But I mean, keep playing Zeke. Pollard, not so much. It's more of the same here. Once that comes back, it's game over. This offense is very, very, very scary. But moving on to I didn't change the rappers. Okay. So now that I'm from Minnesota, I have okay. Time for a geography lesson. The campus of Minnesota, right now I'm in St. Paul. This guy right here is from St. Paul. He's a stud. But the Viking Stadium is in Minneapolis. So almost all my classes, and if you're a normal kid not in Carlson, all your classes are going to be in East Bank, usually, which is pretty sick because it's really pretty there, and it's in town. It's kind of like a college town, and then to get to Carlson, you have to cross the bridge. But literally right across the bridge, within a 10-minute walk of getting off the bridge is the Viking Stadium. So I don't know why I said that, but it's really, really, really pretty and beautiful, and I'm very grateful to be here. Anyways, Minnesota, we have Kirk Cousins putting up 184 and a score. So good for him. Adam Thielen gets there. Jefferson leaves the game early. Very unfortunate. I hope he's okay because he's a stud. But, I mean, Thielen, he's just been Herculean the entire time. He's a weekly starter. I mean, I need to say that. But, yeah. KJ Osborne puts up a dud, which is unfortunate because he's been pretty solid as of late. Jack Conklin gets the big game at tight end. But, I mean, it's more of the same here. It's pretty much tertiary options. KJ Osborne, he busts. Jack Conklin, he'll probably bust next week. But it's going to be Thielen, Jefferson, and Cook, obviously, going forward. Cook doesn't have a great game here, but he gets the volume. Very encouraging to see coming off an injury relatively soon. But, yeah, last game, it is currently halftime in the Monday night game. And Tyreek Hill has 9 for 65 in the score. Travis Kelce has 1 for 3. Wow, that's unfortunate. Daniel Jones has 131 in the score, and that's interesting. Devontae Booker has 62 yards through the air on 4 catches. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, I got to shit, so I'm gonna end this soon. But I don't know. This man here said this motherfucker Shepard made of glass. I can't disagree. Um, Man, one thing that I've been struggling with lately is like comparing myself to other people. It didn't. I don't. Okay, like my recollection might be cloudy because like I'm trying to paint myself a story, but like I really don't think that it was like this in the past. Um, it was just like I I don't know. Like I like so I've always been a proponent of like social media. Obviously, like I I have like an account on social media for football, and like it's great. Like I love having a cool IG aesthetic. Like it looks dope. Like it's sick. And I use Snapchat more than I use. Oh shit! See, I'm getting okay. Never mind. I was getting distracted by social media as I was talking there. But yeah, like I don't. I've always been more of a proponent than a detractor of social media. But when you're like not in a great mind state, when you have insecurities brewing um, about yourself, it's not healthy to I don't know, like I'm just speaking out loud here, just like but like when you are struggling with insecurities at a certain point in time, it's not healthy for you to be on social media because I mean I can't speak for anybody, but subconsciously I'm always comparing myself to other people, and I have FOMO. Why am I not there? Why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing this cool thing? And it's really difficult at a time where you aren't 100% mentally. Yeah, it's really hard. So I would warn you guys. No, okay, no. Well, like first of all, like just know, um, the stuff and like I'm guilty of this too. I really am. Like I'm not saying I'm a saint, but the stuff on social media, um, that's the ideal, u- utopia of someone's life that they want you to see. If I could put up a facade of me being this great perfect person that parties all the time and gets straight A's and has perfect mental health, why wouldn't I do that? That sounds like a great idea. Like that's perfect. Like everyone would look at me and higher standing and put me on a pedestal, but that's not how it is. That's not like people struggle with 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 health, with mental well-being, with grades, with relationships, with friendships, um, and people don't want to show you that. And when you're in a time where there's a lot of turmoil or you are um, just mentally not there, it's not healthy to compare yourself to people like that. So just I mean, like that's probably like duh, but like I'm just trying to. I don't know. I'm just speaking what I've been dealing with the past couple weeks, months. Yeah, but just know I know I'm just a guy on YouTube with like 79 subs. Um, Ed Sheeran dropped an album called Minus. Wait a second. Are you serious? There's no way, bro. You're fucking lying. Oh no, equals. That's fucking stupid. That's fucking dumb. Anyways, but yeah. Um, I know I'm just a guy on YouTube, but I feel like I feel like one of my biggest gifts is um, being able when I myself am stable, being able to understand and empathize with people is one of my best skills I possess. So if you do need help, or you are struggling, just let me know and we can talk about it. Like I can't say I can offer advice, but I'll listen to you and I can probably relate to you at some point because I'm not perfect, It's just like shit happens, So yeah, I love you guys. My camera's like I still haven't like fucking adjusted it to like the frames per second and I don't know, the audio is like off sync, but I hope you're doing well. I wish you the best and have a great day.